Good evening and welcome to episode 2 of Sisters Chit Chat with me, Sister Zarina Zaharuddin. So today I'm very privileged, I'm very happy that we have with us our second sister, the Angklung Queen. Yeah, hi, how are you, Kak Farida? Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for inviting me, Sis Verena.
Thank you so much for coming on board and for saying yes to my invite. Yes. Okay, Sis Farida, I think everybody is quite excited and they want to know a little bit about your background. Of course, we know you're the Angklung Queen. But sisters, before that, let me tell you, yeah, let me tell you. Okay, Sis Farida, from what I've known her for about 8 years or so. Okay. She's a very petite lady, but when she's on stage, she's full of energy and passion. Seriously, if you are feeling down or feeling low, you should see her, speak to her. She's like the light of the day. Seriously, yeah, trust me. Later you hear when she starts speaking. Okay, so let me start with my first question to you. So we know that Farida, Jamal, and Angklung cannot be separated. Yeah. So how does this musical instrument, yeah, traditional musical instrument become part of your life? Yeah, just Farida.
Such an interesting question, and yes, you hit the right point. Now, I was trained, I started in music through school bands. So I was in primary school band and then secondary school also band. I was a flute section leader. I was a sergeant. So I was already in music CCA or ECAC at that time. And then at home, my father used to sing a lot. He was a keroncong and langgam singer. He was singing with the orchestra in the what was known as Radio Malaya Singapore, right?
Oh.
So yes, so when I was in pre-university in Raffles Girls School, I decided now I won't carry on with military or concert band or symphonic band because I felt that okay, that's it, enough of marching, enough of that kind of band was good. It gave me such a beautiful and perfect fundamentals in music, in everything that needs to be regimented, to be very specific, very direct, very disciplined, and I like that. Through the music, of course, you learn the different nuances of music, which is not just strict music. And then I learned to lead. I was a section leader, flute section leader. I went for band NCO camp, how to be almost wanted to become a band major, but okay, they go by height. Okay, I cannot be a band major on the parade. What I did was, right, I'll conduct, and I was asked to conduct as well the string ensemble because I was also in string orchestra besides the band. So when I decided to join the Angklung ensemble, I kept hearing them. I said, "This is interesting." Why? Because it hit the very element of what I am, being Indonesian by heritage. Although my family is not from the kampong, from the village where this instrument comes. The angklung is from West Java, uh, specifically the province of Sunda. My family comes from South Kalimantan. We are Banjaris, but music is music, and Indonesians and we Malays are just music is in us. It's so natural to just sing, to play the guitar. So when I was in Angklung, it was the second practice. Cikgu Jamila Ghazali, the teacher in charge, said, Farida, conduct. How do I do that? Let me just get the simpler kind of angklung. Just hold on, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you should see when she conduct.
This one is already here, so I can't take it out. And this is what you might not have seen because this one has an extra tube. This angklung is meant for playing like this, but it can be played separately. Essentially the angklung is played by an individual person and play one. That is so basic. And then you just carry on and play a lot more. And some I've seen in Indonesia where they play even 6 or 7. So which means you have to learn even like an orchestra arrangement where, the lowest, the bass is, let's say you play a bass G, a middle A, and whatever until whichever number you can get. So when I was in school, during my second practice, Farida Konda, I said like, okay, because she knew I was already in the band. She knew I was a section leader. She knew I was one of the junior conductors in the band already. So I just took up the angklung. I look at my juniors in RGS. I say, okay, now you look at your instrument. This is how it is constructed. Nobody taught me. This is really physical on the spot. And that's the thing about people like me. We do not need, years and years of learning and pages and volumes of studies, of textbooks, although learning, academic learning is important.
Theory.
The thing is, you look at it, I am a very, I'm a fuzzy logic person. Logic basis is it, but how do I train juniors, my Sec 1 friends, how to trick the Angklung? So the Angklung is cut like this. Last time there was no internet, and I didn't read up the books on how Angklung is constructed. But this is how you play. You hold it like that, and you get this. And so, because I play the violin and the flute, the movement of the arm and the hand, the principles are the same. When you play the piano, so you see, at that age, you already knew. And I realized I was just using this and this. Your left and right brain was already working. So play like this. Okay, so I had to break it up into zero, swing, hit, shake. If you go to Indonesia, they will just say goncang. Kita cakap goyang, they say goncang. They will show, but their terms will be different from mine because what I use is on the spot. So that I find that learning to be spontaneous and yet be specific, using your left brain, using logic. So it's a nice combination. That's how I started. So after a while, I said, why is there no full-timer in Angklung conducting and teaching? Because my conductor at that time was Mr. Alex Vishwanathan. Now, Mr. A, as we call him, was the music superintendent for schools at that time. At the ECA Center. And then after him, because he was attached to MOE, so when he left, that's it. And then Cikgu, after that was Cikgu Rohaya and Cikgu Zainab. They managed to call.
Sis Farida, this is what year? In the 80s?
Yeah, early 80s, late 70s. Okay. Yeah, because Angklung in RGS started in 76, but I didn't join at that time. So the thing is, Cikgu Bahari was already, he was still a Cikgu, he was still an MOE teacher, right, in a primary school. But he could come in as an instructor on Saturdays. And his wife also helped. Rama? Okay, never mind, I forgot. Anyway, Rila Melati's parents. I had both of them as my instructor. So on and off, it was a wife, but usually it was Cikgu Bari. His style is basic, taught really the raw version, original version taught by Pak Kasur. Pak Kasur was invited from Jakarta by our Ministry of Culture at that time, I think around 1965, 67, 2 years after our independence. To Singapore kids as well, I believe, to the music activists. It might have included even like community club or community center Malay music activist, I suppose. So anyway, he was one of them. And before Mr. Alex, it was Miss Noraini Sulaiman, the granddaughter of Pak Zubair Said, but I never got to see her. Yes, so I never got to see her at all. I only heard of her name. So the music scores are there. She wrote the Western scale, Western notation. Cikgu Bari wrote the really basic numbers and ABC. Mr. Alex was Western, and I had a whole range of notation. So, and with my band background, so you see, I think I came at the right time and at the right age, because if I had started at age 15, I think I would not have been so prepared, with the number of years, about 4 plus 2, about almost six years of being in the band and seeing how people conduct on just watching shows on TV and all that. I just like to be out there, because if I cannot be the band drum major, I'm too short, fine, because if you're a conductor, like SSO last time, the very first conductor, he was not a tall person either. I say whatever size, age, doesn't matter what your culture.
Work within our strengths, Sis Farida. You work within your strength. You know what is your strength. Yes.
And develop it. So the thing is, develop it. So the thing is, for me, right up to now, when I'm given a role, a new task, just completely new something, I know, like some Malays will say, you are my sebo, only just engage me,
sama lah kita, sama. Macam tak ada kerja punya perempuan kan.
Just do. And the set that I have here is basic, which I used to bring it to when we had this program called Passion at Kampung Glam at Busura Street. So it is really a clothes hanger, There's a clothes hanger.
You see, use what you have.
Yeah, and then hang it so it can be longer, you can cut down, but not the nice fixed kind of Indonesian version. But yeah, you see, so it is I can pack it and go kind of thing for performance, and I use it for some recording as well as whatever I need to do at home. And this can also be like a piano piece, instead of having piano tuition, you go for Angklung tuition at home. You can have an Angklung tutor. So that's the next level to reach out. yeah, so that's the background. And then I was working somewhere else. I was doing Angklung on Saturdays because they couldn't find any other instructor. They reached out to school, reached out to Wisma Indonesia, no answer. Because at that time, the Angklung instructors then, the manufacturers were really in the kampungs. So there was no, there was no reach out. And I think maybe at that time, Wisma Indonesia was not aware of our needs. So it was completely total quiet until I decided to do full time. Yeah, so
When
in
was
between,
that, Sis Farida? At what age?
okay, the story is more like I was working for Far East Services as a, there's bookworm club. I was
Oh,
doing
yes, yes,
children.
yes. I heard about
Oh
it when
my
I was in
God,
school.
girls,
Yeah,
yeah,
Bookworm Club.
you
I'm
would
one
have
of the
seen me
members.
or my colleagues. We were in
Yeah.
red and reading is fun. So that was my actual first time on stage. I didn't know how, I was so nervous. The first time I just stood still. It was, band drum, wanting to be a drum major, everything was like, whoa, what do I do on stage? But I got to it, I got used to it, the singing, the show hosting. So it's not just about acting, it was show hosting and changing to I'm the child and I'm the mother and acting as the one person. It's like having multiple personalities.
Yeah,
After that, you
yeah.
do a show host and quiz session, and then it was the book fair. So that was my first, and I never left school. I literally never left school. I was always going to school. Tiap hari
School.
pergi sekolah.
Ya,
I
pergi sekolah
graduate.
untuk mengajar. Ya, dulu belajar, sekarang you pergi sekolah untuk mengajar. So
Yeah,
you're
even
always
for
in school.
performances, like when I was in Bookworm Club. So, and then I went for my degree in UPM, University Pertanian. At that time was new. My sister-in-law, my brother had just gotten married, I think, to a Malaysian or about to get married. So anyway, they had B.Ed TESOL, Bachelor of Education, Teaching of English as a Second Language. I was prepared to go to Malaysia to teach because I thought, so good in English, right? I love the language. I want to be an English teacher.
Teacher,
But
yes.
yeah, but then I felt that no, I there's something in me that I'm not going to be an academic teacher. I serve better, even if I teach English. I teach English through music.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes I get scolded. Why are you correcting our English? You're supposed to teach us music.
Yeah,
And
Sis
we
Farida,
get two
I
teachers.
think you're a teacher of the unorthodox way. You have your own style of, whatever it is that you teach, music has to be part of
Yeah,
it.
through music. I teach now. I use teaching social studies through music, teaching geography through music. Where is this instrument from? Then history. How old is the instrument? And this is a quiz. How is it made? You're talking about physics and physics and design, and then you're talking about how people are so tekun in making something. So that's teaching another value. So there's so
Persistent,
many
don't give
things
up.
from Angklung.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think you can continue, Sis Farida. Definitely, you can continue until tomorrow. If you just talk about Angklung. But you know what? You see, sisters out there. Do you see how vibrant she is just by the mention of sharing about Angklung? She's so excited. She cannot stop. Okay, so I have to stop her. Okay, so this is Farida. So my question to you is that you make it sound so interesting, you make it sound so easy, but let's get back to reality. Okay, we are talking about music and we are in Singapore. At the end of the day, especially in this era, parents will still say that you can have music, you can have whatever passion you want, but that is number 2 or number 3. You still need to focus back on your academic studies. Academic excellence is still number 1 in Singapore. So coming back to the reality question, can one really survive just by teaching angklung? Teaching music or any form of music, doesn't have to be angklung. That means you want to pursue your passion in music. Is it possible in Singapore's context?
Let's talk about pre-COVID days. In the 90s in Singapore, across the board, performing arts was just starting and thriving. Whether it is about, the dollars and cents pro rata or monthly fixed or events, it is about whether you want or not. Even at that time when I just started, there were already choral directors making money. If you're talking about seriously a career, a profession, and dollars and cents, it is. Do I look like I am undernourished? I'm not. I'm not. Even 20 years ago, when somebody asked me and I was supposed to speak in school, it's the same thing. Do I look undernourished? I think I've been eating even more. So the thing is, what do you want to be? When you choose your passion, you need to find a way to make it, to concretize your passion into something that is income generating. Because once I started and say, okay, I'm going to turn this, I was within Bookworm Club. From being on stage, I was a writer, editor, I was head of art and editorial department. So it was a 5-day job working on Saturdays to teach Angklung. And I was at the computer writing for children, but I was not in touch with those who are receiving my writing, the clients. Then I was thinking that there was this actual physical equipment that stops me from reaching out. And my uncle was the one that's, semangat bakoba. I want to do that. So I told the managing editor, I'm going to leave this and I'm not even going to another publishing house. What are you going to do? He asked the same question. How are you going to eat? I say, open my mouth and makan.
That means you're going to leave a steady income job, right?
Yeah,
Decided to leave.
Because when you serve for MOE, specifically ministry, the money was small, very small, but the money is there. And I had to convince by just being there, to teach. And they saw. And the first school after Raffles was when I went to Island Ballroom at where was that? Shangri-La, and a VP of St. Teresa's Convent said, oh, I like this, what you're doing is good for my school. And then I met the P herself, Sister Maria Lau. This is good for, I said, yes, I just met your VP. So you see, it bursts up like that. And then it's a small world. People, literally word of mouth marketing, they were doing it for me. Oh, I need this by the end of the first year, when I decided to go full time in February 1993, I tendered my resignation with Bookworm Consultants, and I said I'm going to go into performing arts, specifically Angklung. And then I talked to Syed Ibrahim. I happened to bump into him. He was a percussion instructor and about to open up performing arts in St. Anthony's Canosian Secondary School. He said, come on board. What else can you teach besides Angklung? Can you do drama? I said, I don't want to do two things. Yeah. In fact, before that, I was offered by Act 3. All the three of them, Jasmine, Chandran, and Ruby Lim, joined Act 3 three times. If I can't do Angklung on Saturday, I won't do drama. Theater is what I like for myself. I wanted to develop because I did not do it when I was younger. But music, particularly Angklung, is for others. You see, when you do something for others, you will gain. When you do something for yourself, you will still gain and others will gain. But I just find it's a little slower process. For me, that's it, it's Angklung. And my mother said, oh, dia pergi main Angklung, dia pergi sekolah main Angklung. I said, but I'm working.
Yeah, in the eye of our mother, we are playing.
I didn't get that. Yeah, so I was just out there pushing out my raw talent, energy, and passion to teach, and people saw. And I was like, wait, so little at that time, probably like $15 per hour or $15 per session. I can't remember. You just have to keep showing up and doing well. And for me, it was easy to score distinction. Why? Now, I'm not talking about being arrogant here. You know what judges want. Even as a student, I knew what judges want because you already learned through band. This is the kind of music that we perform for competitions, And this is the kind of music I like to hear. We have that kind of training and conditioning at home because if you take music as an academic subject, you become very stiff. I've got students who have even diploma in music. They're only 15 years old. But given, okay, can you just create something out of this? Play something now, rhythm, just rhythm. Okay, for example, like or offbeats. Some of them cannot play offbeats. They can't play that. I said, but you learn, you're up to diploma. So in other words, it's not how fabulous you are. It is important if you can go up to PhD, but it has to come from here. When I teach music, I say you are a musical instrument. You have a voice. What is that that's beating in you? Your heart. Your heart is your bass drum. Your ears. All this is like this
parts of a musical instrument.
Yeah, the physical is physics. The higher, the shorter it is, the higher the sound. Like this is very high C, and this is low C. So when you bring music out, I said, I'm not actually teaching you. I'm actually bringing out the music that's from you. It's like body percussion. Kids like to do that. They forget when they go to primary school. That's music, and that's tribal. Tribal music is
yes. Yeah, that's like when you do that.
Yeah, so when I always bring it down to the level of the element of the human person. Now, all of us have some belief in some superpower. We call Allah, we call God, we call the universe, the energy. You are given this. This is your gift. What are you going to do about the gift that you have? The gift of the speech, the gift of listening, We are, especially now with COVID situation, I better keep myself really fit, and I can still speak even if let's say we have a little bit of sore throat, but we can still do, so this is important to be able to reach out. You have to reach within. I'm listening, I'm hearing. So yeah, it's not impossible. I mean, of course, with the COVID situation, all people in events and MICE and performing arts, we were the first to
To be
suffer
affected, yes.
very much. But then
Yes.
again, a lot of people have totally pivoted and they created
Yes.
things like this, what we are doing, and we are making money out of it. So, when life give the lemon, make lemonade, make lemon
Yeah.
cake.
Yeah, I saw you make lemon cake in your post.
And overseas, this is the first time I'm reaching out. We have things like Clubhouse and all that. I'm reaching out. People say, "Oh, I've never heard of your instrument. Can you play?" So there's visibility. When you make yourself visible, I think sometimes Malays and Muslims, we feel like, tanah malu lah, ini
Yeah.
show off lah, tak baik lah, takabur lah. Okay, then don't. Then you just stay in the cave, don't make money, whatever.
No, I think first thing we must be sure. Actually, no, we must be comfortable with what we have. Yeah. I mean, we must be comfortable, and we don't have to start big. This is how I feel. Start small. Start with people that you are comfortable with. Start small, then slowly the confidence will build. This is how.
Right now I can play, with the support of other instruments later. I've got this as well when I teach. Hold on, now when I teach online, I happen to have this. I've got two of them.
Oh my God! Tell me what is not in your house.
I have one room is going to be turned into a music room and a music studio, inshallah. So it is a bit risky. Every day, all of us know the blessings that we have. Subuh, we pray. Thank God for this. And dear God, I want this. And how do I get it? It's not just asking. You got to do the work.
Yes. Correct. Kita berdoa, tapi dalam masa yang sama, after we doa, we tawakal, we need to usaha lah. We need to take action, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you talk about how this can be income generating. I mean, the thing is, you study. When you study psychology of music, psychology of teaching, music management, music business, music engineering, you think, Angklung teaching is just Angklung teaching? No. It's so many things. I have not myself honed so many talents that I have. I'm going to do the next thing is using Angklung to teach effective communication. How? I've got students who learn how to do MCing. We've already done that. How do you speak? How do you write a script about Angklung? How do you tell a story? Show and tell. The Angklung is nanti tergagak-gagak kan? I mean, kindergarten kids can do this. I can help them to, okay, today I'm going to talk to you about what I learned from Miss Farida, for instance. And also it's speech training, confidence training, essentially that. We don't have to go so far. And then rewrite the language. Now is bilingual. Budak Melayu tak cakap bahasa Melayu. So I can do that. I don't speak much Malay, but I can do that because, when we put our mind to it. So how do you train your mind to like something that you don't like maths? Music is maths, It is maths, How do they cut this according to tune? It's mathematical. Yeah, so
it's everything, yeah. I mean, without us realizing, it's everything about life, about physics, about science, about mathematics.
Bamboo. From I have this term when I have my concert programs. From the little acorn from the little acorn does the oak tree grow? From the humble bamboo does an orchestra grow? So you see what kind of growth it is. It's not just the growth of an orchestra. It is human interaction, human communication. It is so many things. You can divide volumes and you can do so much. A whole pieces of what
I agree with you. So Sis Farida, Angklung, we can start with one person playing up to an orchestra.
Any number. Okay, let's talk about the minimum. I have done performances outdoors, like I told you, at Busra Street. We have a guitar player. We can have a keyboard. I try not to if it doesn't need electronic kind of thing. Yeah. So maybe two sets of this to play melody, one person on accompaniment, which is like the guitar. The guitar itself as well, the Angklung, which can play a guitar part, accompaniment. Yeah, so 4 guys can do that. All right, and a full orchestra, whatever number. And alone then is this. And then you can have your backtrack, not backtrack, what do you call that? Sound, the music -1 to help you, right? So you can. I've got some people in the Angklung community overseas as well who are doing this. Malaysians, Indonesians who are running this, playing solo. and now his family, his children are also learning. So you are training so many things. Is it income generating? Even now, it can be a profession. Don't look at Angklung as Angklung alone. Maybe you are a chemist. How do you combine that? Maybe you are a medical doctor. We have medical doctors who are also musicians. You know, it is not impossible, really. So it's really
Yeah,
up
it's so
to you.
interesting. Yeah. So basically, we don't just look at something at what it is, but
Not
we
right
have to
in
look
time, go
beyond.
big. Now that
Yeah.
go global.
Yeah.
But to go
Correct.
global, you have to start small. You have to
True,
move.
true, true.
You
Yes,
have to
yes.
walk and batate, walk, and then the world is out there. YouTube teaches you so many things. Your friends around you. The minute you snap now, yes, I know how to do this. There's so many people who can help. Seriously, it's just open your mouth. And I go by two taglines, my company taglines. My company is Ethnic Music Connections, which I founded in 2004 to make it more formalized. The line is connecting people, people, music, and cultures through Angklung, to the spirit of Angklung, infectious energy. All right, I
Yes.
reach out to mental health and wealth. All right, to for active aging. So Angklung, to me, it turns your pressure into pleasure.
Yeah, from pressure to pleasure. Yes, I always remember that. Yeah, life is so stressful, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we are so always stressful with
yeah,
work. I mean, when we are student, we are so stressful with exam,
yes,
with tests, right? Then we are working, yeah, we also stressed with work life. So it's about work-life balance. So this is
correct.
where,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Even if you have to study a music score, because my music, my own compositions are always easily memorized. So I cut it down to bite-sized parts so that they can memorize. So you see, no matter how stressful something is, it can be done. It is doable. And then you get a full ensemble. You get a full
yes.
composition. You get a full, I had 12 songs last time when we performed, not all my compositions. What I'm saying is we've got, in the past, we managed to play between 10 to 12 pieces on stage for one concert.
Yes. You know what I learned from your sharing? I realized that yeah, music, or maybe for your case, Angklung per se, it is a form of discipline. Yeah,
Yes,
it's a form of
definitely.
discipline. It's
Can't run
also
away
a
from it.
form of teamwork. Yeah,
Yes.
you need, yeah, in order to have a good performance, yes, you need a good form of teamwork. And another thing I realized that from Angklung you can learn about so many things. You can connect to life, to science, to mathematics, yeah, to yourself, yeah, even our body parts. It's like a
Yes,
musical instrument, different body parts,
correct.
yeah.
We
So
are.
this is what I learned from you. So this is so interesting, how we look at something so simple, but yet it is so amazing and
You
yeah, so
read from the
wonderful.
do, re, mi, fa, so. This is the basic, right? Sorry, this one is too soft. All right, that's the do, re, mi, fa, so scale. From there, you get, sorry, I'm not sure. From
Wow.
a 7-note scale, you can whatever, and then you
Yeah.
press white, what we call the white keys of the piano. Once you have the black keys, you have the chromatic keys. You can play anything.
Wonderful.
Mamma
Yeah.
Mia, you can play
From pressure to
Bohemian.
pleasure. Okay, Sis Farida, maybe I just want to ask you another question. Okay, this is a little bit off Angklung, but I will see your posting in FB. You mentioned about, this Kebaya Queen. So we know
Oh,
you are the Angklung Queen. So who is that Kebaya Queen? Yeah.
okay. My late mother, almarhum Hajah Fatimah Haji Muhammad Ali, she passed away
Pada.
Christmas Eve last year. She's her. What I gained from her, there are two main points. There's so many things right from my mother, but I think two main points was the kabaya itself. When she went to Mecca, when she went to where was it? Where did we
Wherever
travel?
she goes.
Syria and Jordan. People say, Kak Tima, Mak Tima mesti pakai pants, tak ada, aku tak tahu. Ini juga aku punya baju. She's always in kebaya with a corset, right up to the month before she passed away. I had to dress her in that when we went out.
Ah,
So I was like about maybe 2 or 3 years old. I would look up at her.
ah,
How did she pakai the bengkong this long, that long wrap like people
ah.
wear for
Yeah.
postnatal?
Yeah,
But
postnatal
now I
only.
learn how to wear more for more for health, and then came the corset. You see, so it is that meticulousness, that pride. She doesn't have to say it. Nobody needs to say I am proud of my culture. No, and she used to sew her own kebaya until much later in life. Then she sent it to the tailor. Tak sedap lah orang bikin. It's always her own sewing. And she go put her only go-to place is Arab Street. Last time is either Baman Haj or Wali Muhammad. She would ask for 1 meter, 1 meter suku. 1 meter suku even. Cik, mana cukup? Saya tahu, saya jahit, saya tahu lah. Like any somebody say ini untuk baju kurung. Dia mana tahu pakai ini juga pakai kebaya. It is the pride, and then it is health. Jamu. Jamu. Yes, jamu. From my grandmother, she used to concoct her own, and we used to get it flown by, somebody would bring back from Jakarta. My grandmother would make her own, and so jamu has been in the family. I'm sure in a lot of our Malay family, generations. How do you think she was like so strong at 82, 85? She was still 85. She was already weak. By 83, 84, she was still cooking. There's no such thing as just I'm on bed, I want to chill. There's no such thing as that. Orang tua kita kuat. They're women of steel. So these two things, and every time I feel weak, and she would scold me last time. Kau ni sikit-sikit ni macam demam. She had flu. Hardly, maybe 2 years once or 3 years once. And I'm the one who like sneezing lah, kind of thing, menses last time, ini sikit pun lemah, lebih teruk pada orang nak beranak, that kind of thing. So, these two things, kebaya literally, and then she could never run away. People, Kak Tima, daripada jauh, like people who never saw her for the many number of years, you can recognize. And she is so loving with people. She attracts. She didn't have to do much. People just come to her like bees.
Yeah, like minutes.
And then jamu lah. So I think these two main key points, these two values, which it is just part of me, and together with my sisters as well. So yeah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, interesting. So yeah, I wish you saya doakan semoga almarhumah berada bersama para syuhada. Yeah. So okay, Sis Farida, I think we're gonna wrap up soon. So as per normal to all my sisters on my talk show, I'm gonna ask them 2 questions. Yeah. So maybe we know what is your philosophy of life.
Wow, philosophy of life. Whatever you do, do it well. Don't cut corners. Be yourself. Yes, be yourself. Don't fake it. Just be yourself.
But people say fake it until you make it.
Correct. But the thing is, if you keep faking, you're just a complete
Muka
fake.
ketat lah.
You are fake all the time. No, I mean, essentially, you have to be authentic. If you are scared, say you're scared. Then you will get over it, right? So
yeah. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so that my first question. My second question is, how is your relationship with money, or how do you think a woman's relationship to be with money? Yeah.
Oh, again from a woman. My mother, from when we were young, we were brought to Masjid Aminah for belajar agama, right? Put in 50 cents. She'll give me 20 cents and then 50. So whatever you have, you give. Not everything lah, but then there's a regular giving. I have learned to that even now. I mean, this is not about showing off, but the thing is, it is teaching ourselves to remind ourselves there are people who are, I've got a home. Some people are really homeless, right? Some people don't have food. I've got too much food at home. So the thing is, the ability to practice giving, whether it's 50 cents, $5, 150, whatever you can afford. If it's not in Singapore, it could be overseas. Money is not just for yourself. Risky is to be given, to be shared. Whatever you can. If it's not every week, probably every 3 months, probably even at least once a year, it's to be shared. So jangan locate, because I see how risky came to my mother. I'm not sure how it came to my father, because I find that my mother is she's the magnet for this now, really, because she trains that. She was never working for a single day of her life. But literally, people gave, and literally physical energy, and alhamdulillah kesihatan dia, mind. She never lost cognitive skills, and the doctor asked how is her cognitive skills and all that. No problem. Tak nyanyuk. Dari zikir, dari solat, so many kinds of prayers. She will wake up at 3, I wake up at 5:30. If I can, or sometimes 6 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? She's already up. She was already up by 3 p.m. 3 a.m. So
3 a.m. Yes. I think the ikhlas lah, not just about sharing and giving, is whatever we do. Yeah, I think for us also, even for me, I think that's a learning lesson for me. Apa kita buat, kita mesti ikhlas. We must be sincere.
And give.
Yes, ikhlas and give. Yeah.
It's
Yes.
one part for you, there's part for others as well.
Correct. Yes.
So,
Alhamdulillah, Sis Farida. Wow, so much things, sisters. You see, you listen. There's so many
whatever
things.
pleasure, find ways to
Yeah.
make it your pleasure.
It has always been a pleasure talking to you. Yes. Okay. One question for me before we end off.
Yes, people like me, freelancers, or even for a young freelancer, what's the point? Is it good? Is it necessary to have insurance, especially for so many policies? You know, what is the use of it? What if you don't have your regular income? How does it work?
Okay, first and foremost, yeah, Sis Farida, we must understand what is insurance, yeah,
Mm.
because a lot of people are confused between insurance and investment. Okay,
Mm.
so for freelancers like ourselves, personally, I feel that okay, insurance basic protection should be our foundation.
Right.
Not so much investment. Okay, how do I want to compare? Investment is like having a fast car. Investment,
Oh,
you want fast because why I say it's a fast car investment. So I hope sisters out there you understand. I'm trying to make it very simple. So
yeah.
investments like having a fast car. Why you want a fast car? Because you want speed. Maybe you
Mm.
want basically it's speed lah. Don't talk about wanting to show off. Okay, that's besides the point. So it's more on we want speed. We want money to grow fast. Yeah, yeah. But it doesn't have basically much protection. Unlike insurance. What is insurance? Insurance is basically the main aim is for protection. Protection. So it's like having a van. Why we need a van? Because it's more practical. We can carry more things, especially like yourself. Let's say I think for you, we would definitely need a van than a fast car because it would be very
Yeah.
helpful for you, right? To carry all these musical instruments,
Practical,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, practical, yeah. So for us freelancers, personally, I would say have that basic foundation. It's like we are building a wall, building a house, so we need to have
Yeah.
that foundation very strong. Yeah. So having insurance means we are buying a protection plan. So you must know. Firstly, you must know. Okay, maybe just to summarize it, you must have this body, BODY, since we talk about body, right? BODY. First,
Mm.
go back to our budget. What's our
Right.
budget? You see, so just now you are saying we are freelancer. Sometimes certain months we got big income, certain months no income, right? So this is where you need to know your budget. And being a freelancer, come on, you must know what is your minimum amount. Even if some months good months, some months are not so good months, you must know, right? What is your minimum commitment? So during good months, you must save a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you must tell yourself, so budget. How much budget you are willing to put aside every month or every year as a
Mm.
commitment for your
Mm.
basic foundation. We're talking about foundation here, no? I'm not talking about the frills, the whatever extra. No, I'm not interested. I'm just
Yes.
looking at the basic foundation. Yeah.
Mm.
So, what is your objective? Okay, so we know our
Mm.
objective is to protect us because we are freelancers. We don't have much medical assistance from the company. Everything is solely on our own. Right? If
Yes.
we fall sick, if suddenly we are not well, or we need to be hospitalized, so
Yeah.
who gonna pay this?
Mm.
So you speak to a financial advisor, say that I need to be covered, when I'm
Mm.
not working because I'm sick, when I'm
Mm.
hospitalized. So you must know
Mm.
its objective. We are not interested, like I said, don't straight away move about, oh, I want to have certain amount of money. Yeah, that one is like I said, that is a pasca. Okay, then we talk about DOD. D is duration, how long. So basically, if you talk about protection plan, we want it to be with us as long as possible, right? You don't buy a medical plan that only cover you for 10 years, 15
Ah.
years.
Mm.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
people misunderstood that. So they only cover, let's say
Mm.
they buy the plan at the age of, let's say 25.
Right.
Then it's only cover them for 15 years. So
Mm-hmm.
that means until the age of 40. Then after 40,
What happens?
what
You got
happens? Then when they
recovery.
got sick at the age of 41, what happened? So this is where
And
you
you
need to
see
understand.
the mm.
And right? I mean, as we get
Yeah.
older, a lot of funny things start coming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, funny things start happening to our body, right? Yeah. So this
Mm.
is where you must know, okay, how long is the plan that will be with you? That's why budget is very important because the
Yeah.
budget, you know that, okay, how long you are able to sustain this plan. And of course, the why is the yield. Okay, practically for investment plan, yeah, you might need to know what is the yield. Yield means the returns. But we're
Mm.
talking about medical plan, we are not interested in the yield. We are more interested in, if I'm hospitalized, how much am I paid? So
Right.
basically, I would say the yield here is like how much compensation I would get.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is where personally I feel that, yeah. So if just now Sis Farida, you mentioned that you have a few, you know what? Sometimes kita ada banyak tapi dia semua kecil-kecil tau. Dia macam
Mm.
small parts. So maybe you can get an advisor who can collate for you And that person, you just say, I'm interested in, let's say like, right now we are focusing on protection, right? I want to protect myself against, okay, let's say major illnesses. If something happened to me, hospitalization, and this third thing only three things. Major illnesses, hospitalization, and accident. Because accident malang tidak berbau.
Yes, correct.
You see, you never know. And surprisingly, accident always happen at home.
Yes,
If you look at statistic,
yeah.
yes, accident happen at home. My
Tend
dear
to be slack when we are home. We don't forget.
yes, because at home we are so relaxed. Yeah, we thought that we are safe. Yeah, and we don't practice precaution. Yeah, because people always have this thinking that, accident, I tak drive lah. You know.
Oh, I'm careful when I'm crossing the road. I do this,
yeah, but it's not. It's beyond that. Yeah, accident can happen anywhere. Kan kita jalan bawah blok, tiba-tiba plup, atau tergelincir kan.
Not even some people's fault. It just happens. Frankly, I do have, what I'm saying is, especially for younger people who are afraid to do freelance because they want to have a fixed job. But nowadays, what kind of job can you find when people are fighting for? So it's something, it's not about just me alone. Of course, it's what I know, and I have the things like, for the larger community who are coming into this freelance, whatever, and especially to reach out to young musicians who are doing this. Some of them are not protected. They are so scared to put in.
Precisely, yeah, and they should be well informed. I'm really thankful for your question, Sis Farida. I think our youngsters, if they decided to go into freelancing, this is something that protecting themselves, something that they should also consider as a basic foundation. Become part of their probably yearly overhead cost. Yeah, it's not just about rental.
There'll be another podcast. I could bring together, musicians who are young who may already have, what are the experiences, so especially for musicians, I find that. When you put in your passion, you must also talk about the ground and the
the ground and the
overhead. The pillars are your beliefs. The ground you need to set. The money matters, and then the rest are the decor. It comes later.
Yes, and also, Sis Farida, you know what? I believe that we also must be with the right group of people to always encourage and motivate us.
Oh my God, yes. I have learned that over time is be with even, especially those who have come out of issues, how did they do it and how did they become more positive, and even the word is to create an impact. What kind of impact have they created or want to create, or who have their, their mentors or their idols or the motivators be? I think, you're right.
Yes. So, Sis Farida, you will play us something, right, before we end off? Okay.
Tadi dah main sikit, so
okay. So let me just say bye to the sisters out there. So my dear sisters, I hope you had a great time listening to our chit chat. To Sis Farida, the joyful and energetic petite lady. So do like, comment, and give us your feedback. And this is episode 2 of Sisters Chit Chat. Do watch us again for the 3rd episode with another more interesting topic. So all yours, Sis Farida.
Okay. I'm going to do a very basic one, which is a normal hitting and shake. This is the basic one, okay? Like I said, this one has an extra cue. Now, what I have is, if you know music, this is from G to high C. Now, some of these notes, the angklung, because it's a natural element, the thing is sometimes it's very shrill. Very shrill. Sometimes tak ada bunyi. Okay, I'm going to do like, let's see, okay. This is from an extract from The Sound of Music. Okay, I'll try and sing. I'm not a singer. Do, mi, so, re, fa, la, ti, do, mi, so, sing along. Re, fa, la, ti, so, do, la, fa, mi, do, jangan tidur.
Wow, okay, thank you so much. Terima kasih, Sis Farida. Assalamualaikum. I wish you success. I wish you happiness. And bring joy to everybody.
Thank you.
Terima kasih.